Update. Am I the a-hole for telling my girlfriend I want a break after she cussed me out because I left her at my family reunion? Original post. I, 27 male, have been dating Emma, 27 female, for a year and 3 months. I can tell you I love her, but I recently told her I want a break because of how she spoke to me, yelling and cussing me out. She's saying couples fight, and that's all it was. I don't know if I really want to feel this way again. Now she's telling me I'm the a-hole for trying to walk away over a fight. I need advice because after 4 days, I'm wondering if I'm ending things too fast. A week ago today, I took my girlfriend to my family reunion, the first one since COVID, and everyone showed up. My big family was all together. My girlfriend would be meeting a lot of new people, though a few she had met already. About an hour into the reunion, my girlfriend and I were talking to my cousin, 30 female, who knew my girlfriend from working together. While those two were catching up, I saw an uncle I hadn't seen in a while, so I went over and said hello. Talking with him for about 10 minutes, I kept turning around to check if my girlfriend was still with my cousin talking. My grandmother asked me to help carry 4 tables. I let my girlfriend know I was going to carry the tables inside and asked if she wanted to come. She said no, she was fine talking to my cousin. I helped carry the 4 tables and came back over to her. I was away no more than 10 to 15 minutes. As we made eye contact, I could see that she looked annoyed. As I walked toward her, she started walking toward an open space away from anyone. As I walked up, she said, "Why the heck are you leaving me alone?" I said I told you I was carrying tables, and you were with my cousin. She's a familiar face. She said she saw other family and walked away to talk with them, so I'm standing here looking like a fool because you left me alone. I honestly never seen her so upset. She said, "If I had known you'd be leaving me alone, I would have stayed home." I said, "I'm sorry, I didn't mean for you to feel that way." I helped and came right back. She said, "Whatever," and walked back toward everyone. You could visibly see she was upset, and I asked her, "Please, not here in front of my family." She said, "Take me home then." I said, "Are you serious right now?" She started walking toward the car. While driving her home, I said, "I was only gone 10 to 15 minutes. She said, "It doesn't matter how long you were gone. You left me alone looking like a fool." I felt so blindsided and in shock that things escalated this quickly. 30 minutes earlier, I was just carrying the tables in. At one point, she was just yelling and going off. Then she said, "You're acting like a dumbass. It's ridiculous." As she got out of the car, she said, "I'll call you when I'm ready to talk." I drove home in silence, confused about how we got here, and if I was wrong for leaving her and not thinking about how she'd feel. I do understand that, and I apologize. I thought she would be comfortable with my cousin. I didn't know the cousin had walked away, but my girlfriend spoke to me like I was trash, and I'm not okay with it. Later that night, I got a text from her best friend saying how I'm an a-hole for leaving her and asking what was the point of bringing her. She told me my girlfriend was upset and couldn't believe what I did. After 3 days of not hearing from her, I texted her a long message letting her know I love her, but I don't ever want to be spoken to like that by my partner. I said it's been 3 days, and I haven't heard from you. I understand being wrong, but not hearing from you for 3 days is crazy. She called me, and when I answered, she told me I'm wrong for wanting to take a break because she's upset. She said, "You left me, and you don't see the problem with that." I told her, "It's how you spoke to me that's the issue. I didn't mean to make you feel alone, but even after apologizing, you kept going." She said couples fight, and she can't believe I want to end things. I do care about her and love her, but for the past 3 days, I've been thinking about how she spoke to me. Sitting in that feeling, and not hearing from her didn't help. I sent texts and called her, but she didn't answer. I keep thinking about how she was just yelling and cussing me out. Am I the a-hole for wanting to break up? Please, whatever advice is needed. Now for the top advice before reading the update. Not the a-hole. You didn't leave her alone more than a few minutes. And as far as you know, she was with someone she knew. What you did was completely unintentional, yet she focused on her immature feelings. You apologized for something I don't think you should even have apologized for, but that still wasn't good enough for her. She proceeded to cuss you out and make you take her home like a baby. then ghosted you for 3 days and had her flying monkeys call and berate you, and they don't even know the whole story. I wouldn't have asked for a break. I would have ended it right then, and I would tell her friends to shut the heck up. Love the flying monkey comment. I totally agree with telling the friend to STFU. It's none of her business. Time to bail on this relationship. No, how you fight matters. People who think you can say terrible things when you're angry and somehow they don't count are wrong. She said things she meant to be hurtful and doesn't get to be confused that it hurt. 100%. I've been married 25 years. My husband and I have rarely raised our voices and never swear or call each other names during a disagreement. We say what we need to say, cool off, think about what the other person said, and then talk calmly. It's way more productive and definitely more respectful to fight with some ground rules. Now for the update. Hello everyone. I was not expecting so many people to comment and give advice. Thank you everyone. Honestly, I needed to hear some of these comments. A few of you said she's done this before in some way. I've never seen her that upset. It really threw me off. And for it to be the first time at my family reunion, again, it threw me off. When she asked to leave immediately, instead of us figuring out what was going on, I didn't think my family reunion was the place for us to have any type of back and forth, so of course I took her home. I'm not someone who yells at my partner. My parents only communicated through yelling and random outbursts. I don't communicate that way and don't want a relationship like my parents. I'm 6'2", 210 pounds. It doesn't look good for someone my size to be yelling at my partner. I don't ever want my partner to feel intimidated or unsafe from me yelling at her. A day after I posted, I texted Emma asking if we could talk. A few of you said she could have social anxiety that I didn't know about. I have a really big family, so I wanted to see if maybe that was it. I asked her if she had social anxiety, and she said no. I said, help me understand. Why were you so upset? She said, you don't understand how uncomfortable it is to just stand around not knowing anyone, and you should have stayed around longer before leaving me. You should have said, come with me while I move the tables. After she got done talking for about 5 minutes, I told her, I'm done with this relationship. You came up with all these different scenarios of what I should have done, but here's one you didn't think about. Tell me that it made you uncomfortable being left alone so I could be with you. I would have understood. You only know 10 people out of 70 or 80. I would have just walked you around, introducing you to everyone. This was a moment I could have shown you that I care about your feelings and that you could be trusted. My family is super inviting, and all she had to do was give it a chance. This has shown me that this isn't a relationship I want to be part of, and I don't want to be in a relationship where my partner is justifying cussing me out. She started backpedaling and saying a lot of other stuff, but I told her I had to go, and good luck in life. I haven't spoken to her at all. I blocked her number and I blocked her friend's number. I want to find my partner. I want to be with someone who can talk to me and figure things out. I feel like that was an easy win for our relationship, but it went the way it did for some reason. I didn't miss out on the reunion. Since it's been a while, our reunion was the entire weekend. My grandparents have a farmhouse that sits on a lot of acres, so a lot of us camped out the entire weekend. The first day was us setting up our tents. The second day, all the cousins, 20 to 40 years old, had a kickball tournament. And the third day, we had a big fish fry. My family kept my mind busy those days. She wasn't speaking to me, and it helped me so much. I can't wait to have a partner I can share memories like this weekend with. Thank you to everyone who gave me advice. You should have said, come with me while I move the tables. She could have just gone with you and helped you move the tables. You know, like a helpful person would. She didn't need a special table-moving invitation. I let my girlfriend know I was going to carry 4 tables inside and asked did she wanted to come. She said no. Sounds like it was even offered and she was just being a petulant brat. For the life of me, I can't see what her endgame was. It almost seemed like she was trying to find a reason to break up with him, and she found the perfect opportunity to just lose her mind and let loose. She even set her friend on him after giving who knows what story. But for a 27-year-old who has been dating someone for just a bit over a year, to act that entitled and immature and at such a big family event? I'm surprised that the OP never had red flags just slapping him across the face everywhere. It's a power play to break a person down to where they are basically obedient to you and won't challenge you on even the slightest thing. I had an ex-girlfriend do it to me. After 3 years, I finally broke up with her. A month later, she was crying, like full-on ugly cry, trying to get back together. It's called manipulation and gaslighting. He did nothing wrong. She was upset. He apologized, but she kept on. I'm glad he dumped her, even though that wasn't her endgame. She knew 10 people there. She could have gone up to chat with one of them, introduce herself to others that were there talking also. She could have gone looking for him, but she chose to just stand there. Awkward, yes, but not deserving of an ass chewing. Next story. Update. Am I the a-hole for divorcing my husband for being infertile? Original post. I, 29 female, have been with my husband, 29 male, for 6 years, married for 3. We both come from family-oriented backgrounds and have always wanted kids. We're financially stable and can provide a child an amazing life. We officially started trying for a baby in early 2023. After months of nothing, I started to get worried. I wanted to get our fertility checked then, but he said I was being a worry rat and suggested we wait a year of trying before getting any testing. A year was in February, and I scheduled our testing then. The results shocked us. We were both ignorant and assumed I was the one with the issue, if there was one. I mainly see women talking about being infertile, so it didn't cross our minds it could be something else. The doctor called us, and on one of the worst days of our lives, told us that my husband has a condition called azoospermia, meaning he has no sperm. In his case, they say that the surgery to extract directly from his testicle doesn't seem likely to yield good results, but it wouldn't hurt to try. My husband and I were devastated. I wanted us to explore all routes, him taking the medication and getting the surgery, and if that failed, either a sperm donor or adoption. I understand this is life-changing news, especially for my husband, but since February he's refused to do anything about it. He said he doesn't want to take meds and get the surgery if it will be a waste like the doctor thinks. He says using a sperm donor makes him feel emasculated, and that he doesn't want to raise my child with another man's DNA, even if it's from a relative of his, and that adoption isn't something he's ever wanted. I have no one to talk to about this in real life since he doesn't want his diagnosis out there. It's been affecting me really badly mentally. There's nothing I want more than to be a mom. I've begged him to go to therapy and he refuses, saying he accepts it. I'm the one that doesn't. Every time I try to start a conversation, he shuts it down by saying, we will never have a child together, that he will never be able to be a real dad, so I need to move on. I know what I want for myself, and that's motherhood. I am willing to go down any avenue to become a mother, but he doesn't want to. I realized this past summer that he's right. We will never have a child together. I had one final conversation with him since he avoids the topic like the plague. Last night, I sat him down and said I empathize with him about this life-changing diagnosis and that I respect his decision not to get the surgery. But he also refuses to use a donor or adopt. I told him I want to be a mom and I'm not getting any younger. And if he isn't willing to explore any avenue or go to fertility therapy, then I want a divorce. He broke down, saying he can't believe I would be willing to walk away from our marriage over this. That if the shoe were on the other foot, he would never leave me for being infertile. He says I'm a horrible person and that I'm punishing him for something he can't control. I told him it's not because he's infertile, I can work with that, but because he's refusing to go down any route to become a parent, knowing that's something we've both always wanted. He said that I never loved him. Otherwise, I would never contemplate divorce over kids that don't exist yet. He cried afterwards and refused to let me console him. I feel so horrible, but what else can I do? Continue begging him to change his mind or speak to a professional. He only wants biological kids and refuses to do the surgery because it's too much prep. Daily vitamins and meds, no hot showers, etc. Am I the a-hole? Not the a-hole. It isn't about him being infertile. It's about him effectively changing his mind, about having children. I feel like he had a vasectomy and didn't tell OP. Kids are sadly a deal breaker for most. I've walked away from many relationships because I don't want them and the other person does. In a way, this situation is the same. He's not open to children another way. So sadly, your life goals no longer align. It's obviously devastating for you both, but if you stay, you will resent him and probably leave later in life, without an easy path to children then. Not the a-hole, and I'm so sorry for you. You're right on the money. This isn't about his infertility alone. It's his unwillingness to compromise or even consider alternatives. It's tough, but if you've made it clear what you want for your future and he's choosing to shut down all options, then it's totally fair to think about what's best for you. Staying in a situation where your dreams aren't aligned can just lead to resentment later on. There's plenty of options out there, and husband won't budge. This isn't his fault due to his infertility. This is his fault for being stubborn. Now for the update 8 months later. Hello everyone. I posted last year and received so much amazing feedback that genuinely changed my life. Since no one in my personal life knew what was going on, being able to talk about it and get so much incredible advice was great. A lot of the people in the comments opened my eyes to the possibility that he was refusing the surgery because it would be the final nail in the coffin, that if it failed, that would be the end, and that could be the reason he was refusing to do anything. I took some time after posting to do some self-reflection on the whole scenario and to approach the situation differently. We spoke about it extensively, and I told him how I completely understand his fears about not wanting to do the surgery, but I really wanted us to try a fertility therapist. I said we could just do one session. It didn't have to be a deep commitment. He agreed, and that therapy session went amazingly well. We both spoke separately and then together, and we ended up doing 5 sessions overall. You guys were right. My husband was scared to try anything because he didn't want it to fail. He was pre-rejecting the rejection. He opened up to me about a lot of fears and anxiety about his diagnosis. We deeply connected afterward and became even closer as a couple. One day I saw vitamins on his dresser and realized he had been taking them without even telling me. I was so happy. We did another sperm analysis and they saw 2 sperm. We were so happy. Then, to my complete and utter surprise, my husband forwarded me an email. He had scheduled a consultation for the micro-TESE surgery in December. It went well, and he was approved for surgery in February. We went in with low expectations, just happy with the progress he'd made, but they were able to retrieve 3 sperm. My husband and I were ecstatic and couldn't stop crying. Everything went well at his 2-week checkup. Now we're in the process of IVF. I started taking medication for my egg retrieval right after his surgery, and so far I have 12 eggs. Last month we found out we have 2 embryos. Both are healthy, 1 boy and 1 girl. Our implantation date for our daughter was May 1st, and I tested positive a few days ago. We are so happy. I am so grateful that we were able to get through this bump in the road. This has been amazing. I'm so happy that my husband's fear and my sadness in response to his fear were things we were able to overcome. We have both extensively apologized to each other, him for shutting down and wanting to give up, and me for not being more understanding of that life-changing news. Thank you again to everyone who gave me advice.